Rodney Terry's built a nice program here in the Valley. NIT last year, NCAA tournament 2 seasons ago. First possession, Fresno State. What kind of tempo are we going to see tonight?
Well, both these teams are going to climb up into you defensively, push the pace offensively, and they're both great and active on the offensive glass, so you must block out, finish the possession.
UNLV coming off a road win over Colorado State, a 5-point win. This is McCoy, lost it, and Fresno State will do that to you. They will turn you over.
They've got active hands, and that's one of the concerns for Brandon McCoy early in his freshman year is turnovers. He's been much better as of late, but first possession, active hands by Fresno State leads to a UNLV turnover.
This is Jerron Hopkins into the lane, and he finishes. Hopkins, 6'6" senior, and a good one. And the Rebels run right down the floor. Jordan Johnson fuels the attack at the point guard. And you've got Chris Clyburn and Jovan Mooring in the backcourt as well. And an offensive foul inside on Shakur Justin.
This is what Jerron Hopkins for Fresno State does best. Use his size and speed to get into the lane. Not much of an outside shooter. Take that scouting report and apply it. Keep him out of the paint.
Just underway, Fresno State with the ball in tight. Bryson Williams. Williams, a local kid out of Roosevelt High School here in Fresno, makes it 4-0.
This is a good matchup for Bryson Williams. Been much improved as a sophomore, under the radar nationally, but Brandon McCoy is a big-time challenge for him.
This is Mooring. Hit the game-winning shot at Colorado State, a 3. About 25 seconds left. McCoy, air ball from 15. And here comes Fresno State. Ray Bowles Jr., transfer from Pacific. Bad pass there. Clyburn in full flight. Behind, Mooring gathers and misses the 3.
That's something you're going to see quite often tonight. Mooring is aggressive to shoot it, aggressive to attack.
Good ball movement. Williams misses the 3. Hopkins gets the tip, steps through on the glass, and Williams down the lane with 2 hands.
Mentioned the offensive glass for both teams. Bryson Williams is as good and active as anybody in the Mountain West Conference.
And a quick start by Fresno State. Justin knocks Bittner into next week and then helps him up. That's an offensive foul.
Well, the activity level right now for Fresno State has been great. We get another look at Bryson Williams on the offensive glass, cleaning it up and finishing it with authority.
Justin will sit down with his first personal foul. Check that, his second personal foul. So Justin to the bench. That's a huge turn of events. 3 minutes into this ball game. Williams driving, spinning, left hand. It's short. Gathered in by Johnson. Terrell Beck into the ball game for UNLV. Played a lot of minutes in the ball game at Colorado State. This is Beck here, driving on Bittner. Got it up and is fouled. Bittner with his first personal.
Already we've seen the activity of Fresno State on the defensive end, switching, doubling down, creating some confusion. That time Beck attacks. Bittner stuck his hand in the cookie jar just a little too much and a little too quick. Beck gets himself to the line.
Beck had a really nice game against the Air Force Academy. Fresno State was hoping for that as well on Saturday, but the Bulldogs game at the Air Force was canceled because of the government shutdown, and still no word yet as to if they'll be able to reschedule that game. So Fresno State traveled to Colorado Springs. Rodney Terry said it was not an easy trip. It never is. And they had to come back home without even playing a game. Bowles takes a 3, buries it.
He has been a heck of an addition for Rodney Terry. Grad transfer from Pacific, didn't fit into Damon Stoudemire's plans for this season, but he's found himself a nice home here in Fresno.
Ball on the floor, Bittner, Johnson. Rebels with just a point, down 9-1. Clyburn steps into a 3 and missed it. McCoy has the rebound, and he had Bittner on his back.
Well, you could tell that is part of the game plan. It was talked about in shoot-around, and it's being executed early. You must block out. If you're put in a bad position, foul, don't let them get the easy putback.
So the Bulldogs now have lost Bittner, maybe for the entire half. He's got 2 fouls. And Shakur Justin is on the bench with 2 fouls for UNLV. And Mbake Jong is in. McCoy sits down 4 minutes in.
The Bittner loss on paper might not look like a big deal. His numbers don't jump out at you too much, but he's a glue guy, is always in the right spot defensively, and he is a shot maker from the three-point line offensively.
Finally, a shot maker for UNLV, a field goal, a three-pointer, and a 9-4 Fresno State lead.
Sometimes with a shooter like Mooring, it takes one to go in, and all of a sudden that rim looks a lot bigger for him.
Bowles, contact, kicks it out. Hopkins, everybody probing. Williams throws up a hook. Clyburn has the offside rebound. Rebels haven't been able to break much. Nice move by Mooring off the glass. And Mooring with the loose ball and the 3. And that's how UNLV has climbed back in here at 9-7. Whistle inside, and Mbake Jong with an offensive foul. 9-7, Fresno State. .500. All right, let's get going here. Off the bench for Fresno State is Jamel Taylor, spark plug, offensive player, and Hopkins misses, and Mbake Jong the rebound for UNLV. Johnson driving, got a man in the air, feeds the post, gets it back. Brandon McCoy, been on the bench for a while. Nice pick, roll, back, scores.
A great pocket pass, and then a even better finish by Beck. Grimes, early on rotation, did a good job challenging the shot. Just Beck with a nice finish.
Nate Grimes, as you noted, in for the Bulldogs. He's coming off a really nice game, 15 points, 10 rebounds at San Diego State. What's a pocket pass?
Well, the delivery, one pocket from the passer to the pocket of the big rolling. Great execution and great finish through Grimes. Term became really popular with John Stockton and Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz of the NBA, nearly perfecting it years ago.
The pocket pass, it had nothing to do with the short shorts.
No. I live in the Spokane area. I'm now able to talk basketball on occasion with John Stockton, and he still wears those short shorts.
Oh, that he does. And Mbake Jong goes up and meets Jamel Taylor, but it's a foul and free throws coming.
Just a little bit late on the reaction from Mbake Jong, but Deshaun Taylor doing what he does best, attacking the rim, getting himself to the free throw line. Already on the season, 163 free throw attempts.
And 138 made, which is 6th most in the nation. And the free throw is up and good. Brandon McCoy back into the ball game. He's averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds. And you see Taylor with his 19 points a game. He had 22 in the win at San Diego State and played 37 of the 40 minutes.
UNLV showing a little, Fresno State showing a little three-quarter court pressure. Not necessarily to turn you over, but just to take some time off the shot clock and get you out of your offensive flow.
Mooring with a nice crossover, then lost his dribble, and he's fouled on a reach. It may have been Amari Hardy, freshly into the game. Oh. It was Deshaun Taylor. So So Taylor with the foul. It's his first personal. There goes Hardy, and up and over Grimes for the layup.
He's quick, the freshman, shifty. Obviously left-handed finish over the top there, but he's got a bright future in this Mountain West Conference.
Jamel Taylor feeds Grimes. He was 7 of 7 against San Diego State. The Taylor's at work. Deshaun, jumper, rattles in.
And that's what makes him so tough. He can score at 3 different levels. He obviously can hit it from the three-point line at close to 40% on the year. He can get to the basket. He can get fouled. But that mid-range game is where he separates himself from a lot of other players.
Mooring missed the 3. McCoy cleans it up and finishes with a soft baby hook.
Lockout was late and did not get McCoy out of that easy opportunity where he could use his length, and then the nice finish with the left.
Taylor, wild shots. Grimes the rebound. Missed his jumper. McCoy has the rebound. His second, and the Rebels are running. Johnson draws contact and earns a couple free throws.
And this combination of Hardy and Johnson together, they're a little bit undersized, but what they give up in lack of size, they give you in speed and quickness. That time Johnson pushing it in transition. Fresno State not quite matched up, not set up defensively, leading to being out of position, putting Johnson on the line for 2 free throws.
Johnson was a junior college All-American and 1 year at Milwaukee. Finishing his college eligibility with what has been almost a spectacular year at UNLV. He's averaging 17 points and 6 assists in Mountain West play. Big Terrell Carter comes in. He's one of the guys that they're going to use to push around or at least try to contain Brandon McCoy. He comes out for a screen.
When he sets a screen, he sets a screen. You definitely are aware of him.
And he can go to work inside, and Carter with the left hand.
Well, he set that high pick and roll, and then when he rolled, he did a good job of sealing underneath the basket, making himself a target. Many times bigs will roll, but they don't present themselves in an angle or a position where they can receive the pass.
McCoy calling for the ball, missed the hook. Bowles runs the floor for Fresno State, 15 apiece. Big man going to work again. He missed this time. And McCoy to Johnson, streaking up the floor, out of control, off his foot, and it goes to Fresno State.
Terrell Carter sets the screen, rolls down into the middle of key, and he keeps Brandon McCoy on his back. A little back down dribble to get some rhythm, and then the left hand over the top. He has the ability to finish on either hand on either block with either hand. It's just been a matter of being in shape over the course of his career. That's been the question mark.
$15 apiece. Under 12 minutes left, first half. Clyburn comes out to grab it. Hardy in the backcourt with Johnson and Clyburn. Beck in the low blocks. Screen for Johnson. Shot clock at 5. Hardy starts to the bucket. Beck pops off the screen and hits a 3. Tervel Beck, just his 3rd 3 of the season.
He's one of those guys that Coach Menzies says his stats don't necessarily show you the full skill set that he has. That time stepping out on the pick and pop.
Good screen by Williams. He pops. Post pass. Beck got a hand on it. Hardy is fouled by Jamel Taylor. 10:50 left, first half. How you doing on the internet, folks? 1815 UNLV. This city is where he started his coaching career. He was a high school coach here at Fresno.
One of the legendary figures of college basketball. Had tremendous success at UNLV, winning a national title with them, but then resurgence of Fresno State when he came back towards the end of his career.
Nice entry pass there from Javon Mooring. And Brandon McCoy, Player of the Year candidate in the Mountain West, finishes with the left hand. And all of a sudden, UNLV has opened up a 5-point lead. Rebels an impressive win on the road at Colorado State last time out. Carter with an offensive foul. McCoy draws the charge. Keys to the game, Dan Dickow.
Well, UNLV be their recent road selves. As we mentioned, they've won their last 4 on the road. Get to the free throw line. They make over 19 free throws a game. For Fresno State, score 80. When they've done that, they're 9-0 and win the battle on the glass. So far, UNLV has done just that.
While the Rebels were winning on Saturday, Fresno State was waiting on Saturday up in Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy. Steal by Carter. Jamel Taylor, good three-point shooter, skips it across to Bowles. That ball game was never played. With the government shutdown, the Air Force game was canceled. And so Rodney Terry's team jumped back on the plane and headed back to Fresno. So they've had almost a week off. Clyburn in transition. Oh, Brandon McCoy, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you beat pressure, you must attack the rim. Clyburn does just that because Carter then has to help. Fresno State not able to get back and block out Brandon McCoy.
Sam Bittner back in for the Bulldogs. He's got 2 early fouls. Carter backing in, off the glass, and he scores. And the Rebels' run is impressive because they're doing it without Shakur Houston. Houston, who's averaging a double-double and leads the conference in rebounding. He's been on the bench from the 3-minute mark with 2 fouls himself.
Got to drop the ball in the post there. McCoy had Carter on his back for a good 3 seconds. Mooring spent a lot of time dribbling on the perimeter.
Hardy off the screen, shot clock at 4. Crossover, spin, left hand, too strong. And here come the Bulldogs. Jerron Hopkins, they missed him when he had that back injury. Down the lane he goes, and he's fouled by Tervel Beck.
Got to get back in transition and block out. Fresno State not able to do that. Brandon McCoy says, thank you very much. I'll take those easy too.
He's headed towards a double-double already, 6.7 rebounds in only 8 minutes.
And it's funny because McDonald's All-American, you would think nationally he'd be getting a lot more attention than he has been getting, but he hasn't because there's 2 other great freshman bigs as Carter scores down low in DeAndre Ayton at Arizona and Marvin Bagley Jr. at Duke. But if you look at just numbers and sheer production, Brandon McCoy is right up there with those 2.
Lead is 3 for UNLV. Mooring, Johnson, and Clyburn in the backcourt. And Bakke Jong, along with McCoy in the front court for UNLV. This is Mooring. It's a 3. And he missed it. That was the spot for the shot against Colorado State. That essentially was the game winner with 20 seconds left on Saturday.
That was a big win for UNLV. Scored the last 14 points of the game to come out with the victory.
Bryson Williams, and he finishes. The lead cut down to 1. Marvin Menzies wants a timeout. 22-21 UNLV. For those of you watching, this Runnin' Rebel team under Marvin Menzies looks a lot like a Jerry Tarkanian club.
Yeah, they do. Talk about wanting to play in the same style, getting up and down the floor, play an exciting brand of basketball for your students and fans to come out and watch. And then on the flip side, Fresno State, a lot of their personality you can see being similar to Jerry Tarkanian's best teams as well. Active defensively, attacking off the dribble, really good in transition.
High-low look. Carter's had some nice minutes. Missed the shot, got the rebound, and hits the putback. Off the bench, Terrell Carter. points and 4 rebounds.
He's been active in pick and roll and dive situations. That time on the high-low, wasn't able to finish the first go-around, but stuck with it. If at first you don't succeed, try again. That's what my coaches always told me.
Dembele a miss.
That's one reason I guess I always shot the ball growing up.
You shot the ball everywhere you went. And you didn't need a coach to give you a green light either. Hopkins off the screen, double teamed there. Rich Waltz on with Dan Dickow, former Gonzaga All-American. Kicked out. Williams jumper, bangs it home. It's a 2.
That is the next evolution in his game. When you talk to Rodney Terry, he's only taken 2 threes on the season. He says he puts the time in, he puts the effort in, and his form shows you that he will be a good shooter in time.
Clyburn runs into Carter, who's played some big minutes for Fresno State already. Mooring, 15-footer, gets it. Javon Mooring had the explosive second half last week at 17 at Colorado State.
Patient on that pick and roll. Little snake dribble to get the defense on his back, floater over the top. That's when you know you're just a straight scorer. And you have multiple tricks in your bag to get your shot off.
Bowles, the Pacific transfer, back to Carter. He's got great hands and feet, and now he's got 10 points. Averages 6 a game. They love him here. 6'10", 290. Clyburn missed the 3. Here comes Fresno State on the move. Deshaun Taylor. Hopkins. Rebels haven't lost in conference on the road. They haven't won in conference at home. Mooring ran out of room, lost the ball. Taylor, 19 points a game. High-low, why not? Carter again, and he's got a dozen.
They are going to the well and going often. Carter continuing to get great low post position and the softness with the left-hand hook.
And he's doing this damage down low against Shekna Dembele and Mbake Jong.
That's where the 2 early fouls on Houston really hurts UNLV.
Johnson gets to the rim. And it's a 1-point Fresno State lead. Yeah, Marvin Menzies immediately took Houston out of the ballgame, and he has not been back since. Williams takes it, hits it.
Fresno State had a pretty long shoot around this afternoon. About the first 40 minutes or so was just spent on getting up a lot of shots. One thing that I think a lot of coaches across the country take for granted is guys getting in the gym, taking shots on their own. It needs to be a part of your everyday practice.
But Bryson Williams, the other big for Fresno State, has got 10 points himself. Nate Grimes is in. Carter gets a rest. Williams goes to work, looking for Grimes. Mooring in flight with numbers, and Javon Mooring met as he went to the rim and fouled by Ray Bowles Jr.
That was as quick a transition push as you're going to find there. Javon Mooring picking up the loose ball and getting down the floor in a hurry, creating contact, getting himself to the line. That's one thing that is difficult a lot of times to prepare for. Teams that are good in transition a lot of times aren't good at getting back in defensive transition. And you're seeing it on both teams right now. Both teams really pushing in transition, a couple struggles getting back in defensive transition.
Mooring's free throw is good. Rodney Terry, of course, a longtime assistant in Texas with Rick Barnes, and they had great teams at Texas. Final Four, a couple Elite Eights. Beck tips the rebound out. And McCoy's pass. Oh, my goodness. Look out. I think that was Bowles, who lived up to his name and crashed through that row of seats. Everybody's okay. And look at that. The seat he hit was unoccupied.
Lucky, as he just about ran over looks like about a 13-year-old boy. That could have been bad. Thankfully, he was not 5-6 feet to the right and ran into us.
All right. UNLV with the possession, down 3. Amari Hardy, young freshman, driving. Grimes with a block and a foul on the rebound on Javon Mooring. Grimes had the big night in the win at San Diego State. 4 blocks, 10 rebounds, and 15 points.
And he's still a work in progress. Sophomore from Las Vegas. He's giving you energy, he's giving you effort plays such as that weak side rotation to a block shot, but he's becoming a better finisher. He's understanding opportunities and where they're going to come, and Coach Rodney Terry really likes what he's bringing to this ball club as of late.
This is Deshaun Taylor, the junior out of Riverside. And a great scorer. He's coming off back-to-back 22-point games at San Diego State and against New Mexico. And he can stretch the lead to 5. His running mate, Jamel Taylor, no relation, in the game as well. There's a small lineup on the floor. You got Grimes in now. And he's battling Brandon McCoy. Johnson, Mooring, and Hardy. This is Beck. He's hit a 3. McCoy calling. Got it. Doubled. Shot clock at 6. Difficult angle from the baseline.
That's just a frustration shot. They missed him on the first time to reverse the ball and get a good angle for the entry pass. Wanting the ball for multiple seconds there, finally gets it, forces up the shot. That's a learning curve for young bigs such as McCoy.
It's an offensive foul. Williams dropped the shoulder, extended the arm, and knocked Tervel Beck to the ground.
Get another look at that. Deep on that baseline, almost behind the backboard. A young big like that, you will start learning where double team coverages are coming from, where rotations are, and when those rotations come, the angles with which to pass.
Danny, in contrast to UNLV, who's had trouble getting the ball to McCoy in a position to score, Marvin Menzies says that his ball club continues to work on that. Fresno State, on the other hand, has done a terrific job of getting the ball to Terrell Carter in a position to score, and he's done just that. He's got 12 points.
Yeah, I think the difference between both teams and how they try to enter the ball in the post, in particular tonight's game, is Carter's doing an action such as a pick and roll and then go into a post up, where so far UNLV has tried to strictly post up, keeping the ball on the strong side, as opposed to getting action into a post up for Brandon McCoy.
McCoy comes up. Mooring didn't use the screen. Johnson drives, threads it, and McCoy is fouled. And he goes to the free throw line. And he'll get free throws.
But that's not a bad foul. You've got the ability to put him on the line and earn his 2 free throws. Shoots in the upper 60s percentage-wise. It's better than giving up an easy dunk if you were late on rotation.
Brandon McCoy shoots 2. Top 25 college hockey action. The last 2 national champs face off. Number 4, defending champ Denver, against 2016 champ number 11 North Dakota, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 4-point Fresno State lead. UNLV was down in that second half at Colorado State. Down by 5 a lot. Came back, won that game. Taylor inside and a tip. It's Ray Grimes. And the bigs continue to haunt UNLV, whether it's Carter or Williams or Grimes.
Grimes actually leads the country in rebounds per minute. Right there, showing you a little bit of what he likes to do on the glass.
I like that number. I like rebounds per minute.
It's one of those stats, one of those skills that translates from level to level. If you can shoot it, if you can defend it, if you can rebound, there will always be a place for you at any level.
He gets a rebound, what, every 40 seconds. Grimes, baseline jumper. Taylor up, and Deshaun Taylor going to the line.
UNLV foul, number 24, Jordan Johnson, his first personal. 9 team fouls. Deshaun Taylor at the line.
So 35-29, Fresno State. We noted that Nevada is on top of the Mountain West, Boise State right behind them. But there's 3 or 4 teams right now in the conference that you can easily see winning the conference tournament. And I think both these schools qualify. Great improvement from Marvin Menzies.
Yeah, I think if you look at UNLV, their process has sped up under Marvin Menzies, even what his expectations were. Top 12 recruiting class in the country, highlighted by Brandon McCoy, but you know, they're a little ahead of their projected path. But those teams you mentioned, you're right. Wyoming has had good wins. San Diego State seems to always be there. These 2 teams as well. And then New Mexico has been the surprise in league play. Their overall record doesn't really jump out at you at 10 and 11, but they have been the surprise in league play, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're 5-3. Are the Lobos. Boise State 6-2, Nevada 7-0. Johnson, round to pick. Clock running down. Hardy, and late in the clock, a missed 3. Clyburn, and now the shot clock getting off, and the game clock expires. On the floor to start the second half. Let's see if UNLV can recapture that magic that saw them win on the road at Colorado State. They are 3-0 in conference on the road this year. Mooring feeds McCoy. First touch for the big guy, drop step, and missed it. Williams the rebound for Fresno State.
But I like the movement and the action to get McCoy on the block early. Just wasn't able to finish.
Deshaun Taylor for Fresno State. Sam Bittner had 2 fouls as well. This is Ray Bowles Jr. Bittner with a screen. Taylor delivers. Williams, McCoy, it's an easy block. And only 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, poor spacing by Fresno State, in particular on that pick and roll. Taylor needs to use that. Instead, he drives into traffic, hands it off to Williams, and says, here, you get blocked.
Not a lot of time. Bittner's going to have to create, gets a screen and a 3, and just missed it. Long rebound. Justin finally gets a hold of the basketball. Look at McCoy calling for the ball. Justin launches, misses. And here comes Fresno State.
That was kind of a, let me welcome myself to the game pull-up shot. Not necessarily a 3-point shooter, even though that was a step inside. He needed to drop that ball to McCoy there.
Really nice pick and roll. Bowles to Williams with a flush.
So the activeness of Bryson Williams has been very impressive. 12 points now on the night, but he's done a good job on the glass. He's been extremely active defensively as well.
Another pocket pass for Dan Dickow.
Yes.
Johnson has a gorgeous left-handed pass that finds Justin for a layup.
I'd like to see more of that from Johnson. He's got the ability to impact this game with his passing. Averages over 6 assists on the game. 4 times this year has had 10+ assists.
Taylor finds Williams. Good heads up. McCoy came out. Williams was left alone.
Well, UNLV is going to have to figure out how to guard the pick and roll a little bit better. Weak side dives and rolls wide open right now.
They need to get the ball to McCoy in a better spot. That's an offensive foul. I mean, look, the kid's talented. He's 7 feet tall. He's a freshman. The Rebels have had trouble with that all night long.
Houston late to react and doesn't want to contest with the 2 fouls, but the play before Little pick and roll to the pocket pass. Taylor with the nice find, Williams with another finish. But to your point, Rich, yes, McCoy needs the ball, but they need to find ways to get him the ball and then occupy the other defenders, whether it's cuts or screens, because right now all attention is being paid on McCoy when he gets it.
Good hedge by Williams. Houston misses, gets the rebound, tries to save it. Jerron Hopkins for Fresno State. Biggest lead for the Bulldogs right now, a 9-point lead, early moments, second half in the Mountain West. And steal there. This is Jordan Johnson, the transfer. Oh! And Johnson ran out of real estate. Clyburn wasn't ready for the pass. And a nice opportunity goes away.
Johnson trying to draw contact and get the foul. Bittner doing a good job staying away, but Clyburn, little butterfingers, out of bounds.
How many times did you have a 4 a.m. wake-up call for a 8 o'clock game that day?
I don't think I ever had one, but it brings back probably a lot of memories for these guys at their AAU days, playing 2, sometimes 3 games a day.
Hopkins, the miss. Rodney Terry almost jumped out of his sneakers.
At the end of the day, though, Marvin Menzies is able to tell the guys, hey, it's all about competing. Let's get it done.
Nice lob from Mooring, and McCoy finishes that. The lead is 7. Williams goes to work, stumbles, kicks. Bulls cut off. Bittner's 3. And McCoy with the rebound. And the Rebels are running now. Houston's getting in the flow. Lead is cut down to 5. Good job by Hardy to stay with Hopkins.
And that's the first part of pick and roll defense. Guards willing to fight over and get it through that screen. Hardy's done a great job on the last 2 possessions doing just that.
Well, Bryson Williams just keeps getting better and better. The 6'8" sophomore, one of the best recruits that Rodney Terry has had here. Johnson back down the floor. Up tempo, and back to a 5-point Fresno State lead.
Boy, got away with a little push in the back there.
Johnson leads the break, finds Mooring, and he's fouled. And UNLV can draw within 2. Mooring still on the deck. Javon Mooring to his feet. UNLV down 9.
They were in the Big West, but that is a difficult place to play. And Fresno State, when they get things going here, this can be a great building as well.
Mooring hits a free throw, and a nice run here by UNLV to draw within 2 of the Bulldogs. 4.5 minutes in, second half. Only game going in the Mountain West Conference tonight. And Fresno State, of course, had their game on Saturday canceled at Air Force. We're still waiting word as to whether they can reschedule that game. No whistle there. Taylor rotates it. Deshaun Taylor misses the 3. Neither team has shot from distance well at all today.
That's surprising. Fresno State leads the conference at 41% from the 3-point line, and that's only the 5th attempt on the night.
These are 2 very good shooting teams. You're right. I mean, the Rebels are 6th in the nation in field goal percentage at 51%. And Fresno State is number 1 in the conference, as you noted, in 3-point shooting.
Sorry, Rich, and it makes a lot of sense because UNLV's built with an interior of McCoy and Houston who can really score on the block, and then they like to get out in transition and get easy buckets.
Terrell Carter is back in, and that's his 3rd personal. When you get bumped by Terrell Carter,
yeah,
you stay bumped.
That's definitely big against little there. They down the pick and roll, influencing the ball handler Johnson to go towards Carter. He bounced off of him for sure, but he's been playing well tonight. He's been a positive for Coach Rodney Terry.
Carter has a dozen. Bryson Williams with 16 to lead Fresno State. Jordan Johnson missed the 3. And the rebound to Deshaun Taylor, and here come the Bulldogs. Taylor down the lane, bobbled it, got it back, and scores. And the Rebels maybe running a little too quickly. Houston couldn't handle.
Well, that's a good idea, just a bad angle. But Fresno State got lucky on this one. Taylor pushing in transition, coughs it up, but is able to recover it. Not a single Rebel around to contest the finish. Sometimes you got to be lucky, not just good.
Jamel Taylor's into the game for Fresno State. He and Deshaun in the backcourt. Deshaun Taylor driving, missed it, put back, missed it. Jordan Johnson with a rebound. Up the floor he goes. Johnson gives, and Mbake Jong follows. And down, still on the floor, is Deshaun Taylor. And he's in pain. He's holding that right leg, almost the right calf. Tough to tell if he got kicked or twisted or kneed. You hope it's only a cramp. And that he tried to get up and he just crumpled right back down. And Rodney Terry back to his huddle. Certainly concerned. This is his leading scorer, 19 points a game. Taylor's got 9 in this one. It looked like things had calmed down, Dan, and as he got to, with help from the trainer trying to stand up, all of a sudden he collapsed in pain again.
Yeah, which would lead you to believe it's a cramp. Now they're doing some stretching exercises, but you're right, Rich. He was in obvious pain. For anybody who's been there with a cramp before, whether you're sitting on the couch watching TV or in the middle of a game, that is definitely. I would look for Fresno State to stay inside with their attack.
So Jamel Taylor, along with Jerron Hopkins. Nice high-low look and a kick to Bowles, who misses the 3.
That's a good offensive possession. As you mentioned, high-low. Carter sensed the double team, kick it out to an open shooter. Bowles, who didn't knock it down that time, but knocked one down earlier.
There's your shooting, much better for UNLV in the second half. Right now, McCoy is wearing Carter down low. Screen for Johnson, he's doubled. Gets another pick, missed the shots, and the rebound to Mbake Jong, and a fresh shot clock for UNLV. Now McCoy against Williams, around him and gets it in, and that's why we talked about it in the first half. You get him the ball in a good spot, and it's going down.
That's a pro-type move, but if you're Fresno State, you can't allow him 3-4 dribbles to get to his sweet spot. You've got to double early, dig down, make him feel pressure.
Johnson with the foul.
UNLV foul number 24, Jordan.
Rebels have come back now to tie it at 44 apiece.
First Rebel team.
Fresno State had a 9-point lead. And UNLV has finally erased it. We'll try to get you a report on Deshaun Taylor if we can. Nice. Over McCoy. Bowles, who's 6'5".
Aggressive attack. Took the fight to the shot blocker that time, right into McCoy's chest. Finish.
McCoy calling for the ball in low. Again, he's got Carter leaning on him. And it's a turnover.
But what Brandon McCoy doesn't understand is that when he stays stationary, posting up in one spot, when he's fronted, calling for the ball, he can't see the backside help. Bryson Williams is right there, so any lob over the top would be easily intercepted by Williams. They've got to get better movement. Maybe look at cross screen, getting him into the block or high-low action, because it's been very stagnant in their post entries.
Carter is a strong man. He's got 14 points. He had a dozen in the first half.
And McCoy backed away a little bit there. Didn't want to pick up a foul. At some point, you might need to burn one and put Carter on the free throw line.
Now McCoy, jumper on the way, too strong. Mbake Jong offside rebound, and Johnson misses the three. Bulldogs by 4. Taylor driving, Taylor scoring. And just like that, a 6-0 run by Fresno State. And a timeout by UNLV.
Just preach, next man up. You don't know if a teammate's going to get in foul trouble or just struggle one night, or such as Deshaun Taylor have an injury. Always got to be ready to play, always got to be ready to produce.
McCoy swoops in, gets the bucket. Double-double for McCoy. He's having a terrific night. And the lead back to 4. (13-10) is McCoy. Carter just can't be stopped right now. 11th rebound for McCoy. And a chance to cut into a 4-point lead. Houston, who's been quiet tonight, scores with a reverse.
He's been quiet, but he's continuing to work. Early rim run. Good job sealing on that block in transition, and then the finish underneath. UNLV now in a little 2-3 matchup zone. Something they don't do a lot of.
Williams hit a couple of mid-range jumpers. Carter back to work, steps through, right hand.
And McCoy just doesn't want to pick up a foul. Second time at least now, he's backed away from contact, allowing Carter to finish.
Fresno State with a 4-point lead. And Deshaun Taylor on the bike. That's a great sign. UNLV basketball. We're into the 10-minute mark. You see the rebounds are even. Fresno State getting it done in the paint. Houston. Hardy. Houston rolling, couldn't finish. Mbake Jong with the rebound, fresh shot clock. Johnson off the bounce pass, scores! And a free throw coming.
Great finish by Johnson, but great awareness by Mbake Jong. Only been playing a couple years of organized basketball, but his natural instincts for the game are something that leads him to have such a bright future. Coach Marvin Menzies raved about him this morning when we had a chance to sit and talk about his running Rebel team.
Johnson a chance to get to double figures. And he brings the game to 52-51 with that three-point play. Sam Bittner back in the ballgame for the Bulldogs. Deshaun Taylor still on the bench. Blocked there. Houston. Johnson.
Mbake Jong wanted the lob there. Johnson wisely said no, not going there.
Hardy, yes. Amari Hardy, and UNLV noses in front now, 53-52, under 9 minutes left.
Running Rebels just hanging around. Marvin Menzies says we just need to get to the final 4 minutes in what he calls winning time.
Wow, that's an early bomb there from Jamel Taylor from about 26 feet. Johnson, Houston out to screen. There's the pick. Beck, great rebound. Hopkins held it. Where will the Bulldogs get their points? Without Deshaun Taylor. He is set to check back in. Shot clock at 5. Hopkins spinning, and he's fouled by Beck. Deshaun Taylor is coming back. UNLV has come all the way back. Yesterday did not make the flight to Fresno. 4 a.m. wake-up call for a 7 a.m. commercial flight. Marvin Menzies let the guys sleep this afternoon, and it seems like the wake-up call has arrived because they came back from 9 down. And now the game knotted at 53. Rich Waltz along with Dan Dickow in the Mountain West tonight. We'll keep our eye on Taylor, number 21 White. Let's see how he moves. Good denial there. Ray Grimes is in, fronting McCoy.
A good front. Poor angle there for UNLV on the high-low. Good idea, but you can't force it.
Hopkins, along with Deshaun Taylor and Bowles. Good kick. Bowles 3. Got it!
Big time shot there by Ray Bowles. Hit one in the first half, but credit Hopkins breaking down the defense on the pick and roll, finding the open shooter.
Only the second 3 that Fresno State has hit in the ball game. And their lead is 3. Houston, strong man against Williams, right to the rim. Tip, offside, looked like Tervel Beck.
It was Tervel Beck, and he got his big frame in there on the inside position. Nice putback.
Back to a 1-point game. All right, this might be a test. We see Deshaun Taylor cutting hard for the first time. And he looks as good as new. Williams spinning. That's a sweet move by Bryson Williams.
That was great footwork to the finish.
18 for Williams. Turnover for UNLV.
Williams has done most of his damage on the perimeter facing up tonight, but this time, little back down, spins away from contact, and then again, spins back to the middle. Jump hook over the top. Nice move there for the sophomore from Fresno.
And that was over Houston, who did not play a lot in that first half. Houston got 2 fouls 3 minutes in and sat for 17 minutes in the first half. Did not score. Averaging a double-double. Good feed there. Grimes misses. McCoy tips.
Good high-low action. That's where Terrell Carter's been so effective tonight. Grimes isn't able to get quite as good a position as Carter has throughout the evening.
High screen for Johnson. Whips it to Houston. Beck, mid-range. Deshaun Taylor. So far, no ill effects from that massive cramp.
He looks all right.
Jamel Taylor, good 3-point shooter. Williams, another mid-range jumper. My goodness, he's got 20, and he has scored from all over the place. The sophomore out of right here in Fresno. Fresno State had a 9-point lead. UNLV erased it, and the lead is back to 5. 5 minutes left. Javon Mooring back in for the running Rebels. McCoy calling for the ball against Carter, left hand, and Carter wins that battle. Good crossover from Jamel Taylor. Terrell Carter's had a big night here.
I was just going to say, big fella's had a nice night. I thought he might try his hand at the three-point line.
He's got 16 points. But he has not attempted a three-point shot this year. I'm happy to report. Shot clock down. Bowles. That is a block. And for Bowles, it bailed out late in the shot clock. Amari Hardy the foul.
Bowles puts his head and shoulders down with the shot clock winding down. Hardy not able to stay in front. The correct call by the official there.
20 seconds on the clock. And a whistle. And it's Hardy who picks up his third personal. 2 fouls back-to-back without any time off the clock. And the freshman from Detroit heads to the bench.
Good execution on baseline out of bounds there by Fresno State. You don't see a lot of college teams try to score on sideline, baseline out of bounds plays. That time, great execution, pinning a foul on Hardy.
Deshaun Taylor trying to feed Carter. That was a mess. Takes the 3. Beck has the rebound. Running Rebels down 5. Beck rolling off the pick and off the glass. It's a 3-point game.
Not good spacing for UNLV, but Beck doesn't mind. He's able to get the ball up off the glass and in the bucket for 2.
Double figures for Beck. He's got 10. Jamel Taylor. That's going to be a UNLV ball.
Tervel Beck doing his best to keep the Running Rebels in it over the comfort level to put the ball in a guy's hands and know that he can create his own shot, but he's also willing to take that shot. And Mooring is a guy that's both able to create and is willing to take a shot in a big situation.
3.5 left here in the Mountain West. Brandon McCoy calling for the boys. Got Carter on his back. McCoy going to work. Got around. No reset on the shot clock. Held ball, and it's going Fresno State's way.
But Carter, as well as he's played on the offensive end, he's also given McCoy some trouble on the defensive end. Standing his ground that time. McCoy tried to step through. Didn't realize he had to step around. Wasn't able to finish. Fresno State coming up with a jump ball.
Carter has 16 points in 18 minutes of play. McCoy a double-double, 13 and 11. Deshaun Taylor playing with a sore quad. Lost the ball. Hopkins scoops it up and missed it. Beck with the rebound. Still a 3-point game. Jordan Johnson, round Carter. Over Taylor, missed it badly. Deshaun Taylor not moving well right now. That quad seems to be stiffening up. Shot clock down. Hopkins. This is Taylor. It's a 3, and it's good.
He said Mooring was a guy willing to take a big shot for UNLV. Deshaun Taylor is that guy for Fresno State. Big time. Step it up, knock that 3 down with the shot clock winding down.
Stretches it to 6. Minute 50 left. Mooring driving. Got the contact, but not the whistle. Carter the rebound. Outlet to Hopkins. Against Johnson. In the lane. Finishes! And the lead now all of a sudden runs to 8. The drought for UNLV, 2.5 minutes. A foul, and Johnson scores, and a free throw is coming. And that can get him back within 5.
Johnson has penetrated time after time. Many times he just pulls it out and resets the offense. This time, getting into the chest of Hopkins, creating the contact, the whistle, the bucket for 2, and a chance at the 3-point play.
Hopkins' third personal. Johnson to the line with 12 points. He has scored quite well in conference play, averaging about 17 a game. Nestles that free throw in. UNLV a substitution, and Mbake Jong is in. Brandon McCoy will sit down.
You see UNLV ready to pick up in a little bit more of a full court pressure situation.
Jamie Rodahl and Steve Lapis standing by in our New York studio, bringing up to speed on everything in college basketball tonight. Here in the Mountain West, Fresno State, a 5-point lead. Bryson Williams, high-low, into the muscle. Carter lost it. Here comes Johnson. Jordan Johnson, got it, count it. How about that?
How about that? If you're Deshaun Taylor, you cannot foul and allow him to finish the bucket. Jordan Johnson is extremely quick in transition after Carter, gets blocked by Mbake Jong. Ignites the fast break, but Jordan Johnson taking it directly to the chest. Deshaun Taylor, if you're gonna stick your hand in there, you gotta foul and not allow him to make that bucket.
Well, we showed you the comeback by UNLV, down 9 at Colorado State, down 8, and then all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye,
Early flight back home for me tomorrow.
Full court pressure. Fresno State with a lead and the ball. You can see the fouls down below on the scoreboard there. 4 apiece. And there's a foul. Looks like Mbake Jong tangled up with Carter. You know, if you're Rodney Terry's team, the foul resets the shot clock at 20. But you still have 2 more fouls. If you need to foul to force a free throw,
which would have made me thought that UNLV might have jumped out into a little bit more pressure early on. Tried to gamble, go for a steal. If not, get a quick foul because of the reset in the shot clock. But also the fact, right, Rich, you got to foul twice to get to the bonus.
And I'm not saying they're going to foul on purpose in this shot clock because they can obviously defend to the end of it. But it can be problematic if you get down to those final seconds and you need to foul to force a free throw.
Yes.
The foul, last foul on Houston. So now the shot clock stays at 18. And the officials right now are at the monitor, whether they're trying to identify the guilty party on the foul or double check the clock.
I believe they're double checking the clock because they entered the ball kind of in the short corner area, and it looked as though they took 1 or 2 dribbles, getting the ball out of pressure. So they need to see when that whistle was blown for the clock to stop.
Well, the game clock looked like it was at 39 when the ball went out of bounds. But a foul was called, so it's not when the ball hit out of bounds. It's when the foul was actually whistled. Now the clock is supposed to stop automatically. You see the little packs on the back of the officials there. That's a whistle pack, and the clock is supposed to immediately stop with the whistle. John Higgins actually has a stopwatch in his right hand. And our guess is they're going to add a second or 2, or a second. There you go. That's about a second and a half.
We have a reset on the game clock for 39.2.
It's curious they reset the game clock, but not the shot clock. Shot clock at 18. And so Bulldogs will inbound it.
Now you're at the point where UNLV fouls, you put Fresno State on the line for one-on-one opportunity. Decision.
Do you do that? You probably want to defend to the end of the shot clock, or do you want to foul now?
Well, at this point now that you're at that one-on-one stage, you would defend it as if you're playing to stop. You would not want to foul in this situation unless you were to get put in a bad position where someone had an easy layup, you'd make them earn them at the line. But play tough D, play out the clock, get a stop, and push in transition if you're UNLV.
Bulldogs have the ball and the lead. Next foul is 1-1. Shot clock right at 10. Deshaun Taylor, sore quad, stops, off balance, missed it, Carter rebound. Now you got a foul, and they do. Johnson fouled. Boy, you got the shot. If you're UNLV, the shot you wanted.
Great defensive possession, but none other than Terrell Carter coming up with a big play. Maybe got away with a little bump underneath, but smart decision to pull it back out. Deshaun Taylor fouled, shooting one-on-one at the line.
It's one of the best free throw shooters in the Mountain West Conference, not only in volume, but also in percentage. 85%. Only 5 other players in the NCAA have made more free throws than he has. It's 1-1. And he misses. Houston's got it. Rebels with it. 16 seconds left. Down 2. Jordan Johnson driving. Johnson blocked. McCoy blocked. Tipped. Carter's got it. And he's going to shoot free throws. Terrell Carter blocked a couple. What a night for the big senior.
Terrell Carter making plays all over the floor down the stretch. A big block and then coming up with a loose ball. Can't say enough about that young man, the senior. Extra effort getting it done.
Well, now Carter's going to have to get it done at the line. He'll shoot 1-1. If he makes the first and misses the second, they'll need a 3. Rebels do have a timeout.
They do have a timeout, but this is where we need to be aware of. Fresno State now has a couple fouls to give. So if Carter were to miss a free throw, do you quickly foul? But if he makes both, it won't matter.
So he's made one, and now that comes into play, right? I mean, if he misses this, you would want to foul. Drops in the free throw. Fresno State by 4. And the Bulldogs are going to protect home court. They'll have to throw it back again. Fresno State gets the ball and will get this win. Unless UNLV's got a 4-point play drawn up and they don't even have the ball.
I believe what the officials are looking at now is figuring out the clock. They are resetting it back to 4.9. On the inbounds, they never stayed out of bounds. They stepped over the end line.
And so a foul and more free throws here with 4.7 left. Well, this was a night for Rodney Terry where he lost Deshaun Taylor for a good portion with a quad injury. And we're coming off that emotional win where off the bench Nate Grimes gave him 15 points and 10 rebounds and 4 blocks. And another big off the bench, Terrell Carter with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and importantly 2 blocks in that key sequence where the Rebels down 2 with a chance to tie it.
unsung heroes came to play for sure down the stretch for Fresno State. Can't talk enough about Terrell Carter and the plays that he made.
Deshaun Taylor with a couple free throws. Rodney Terry and the Bulldogs are going to go to 5-3. Put themselves in a third-place tie in the Mountain West. And 15-6. And UNLV had their shot at the end. Fresno State has got momentum in the Mountain West. And a 5-3 record. 15-6. Mountain West standings.